Okay, so I've used all the fuel on you, so I'm going to move this fuel truck out of the way.
Yeah.
And you're going to carry on heading north, I think. Probably pretty much going the same way I'm going
Yeah.
with my lumber truck.
Well, I got unstuck, so that's nice. Thank you. That took only an hour.
But if we take, you've got 7 points there, I've got 7 points there, and we only need to bring in
Yeah.
9, so we should, in theory, be able to finish all the lumber. Do we need to finish the garage as well to complete the map, or do we have to just do the lumber?
No, we just have to do the lumber. We could finish the I think the garage points are the easiest because we have both those E-class, but we'll see, I guess, once we have the...
Yeah, I mean, I think, we don't need the garage in order to carry on, I don't think.
No. Oh boy. Water.
The wheels
I'm
are
so
spinning
happy.
here. Crikey. Let me know if you need a winch or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so far so good.
Are your lights on?
Yeah.
It's interesting because on my screen your lights are not on.
No, I know. That's something that I always wanted, is that they synchronize a little bit more. I mean, I got used to the fact that the mud doesn't synchronize, but at least the lights would be nice.
Yeah, I should be able to see your lights. Can't be that hard for them to do.
No, you would think not.
Because it's like it's either on or it's off, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like mud where it can be deformed in all kinds of ways. Yeah, I'm moving this fuel truck, but I don't think we're going to need the fuel from it. Although, we'll see. We'll see what your fuel level's like when we get up there.
So far so good.
Yep. Slow and steady.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move it up a gear. Still alright back there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna take her out of diff or all wheels until I'm back on dry land.
How much fuel have you got at this point?
224.
Out of what, 330?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you want, like, I'm taking a right to the fuel station. If you want, just... If you hold there, I can come back and top you up. It's up to you.
Maybe not a bad idea. I'm burning at the moment at around 20 liters per... Well, yeah, around 20 liters per minute.
It'll take me about
10 minutes.
2 minutes to do a loop here and come back. I think they need to build something on top of this game, like an economy or something that between maps persists, because at the moment it's all very sandboxy.
Mm-hmm.
You play a map, you get your points, you're done. Reconfigure, play a different map, and so on. There's nothing that's tying it all together in any way.
Yeah, that is true.
A greater objective.
Nice to see.
Okay, I'm at the fuel point. Oh. Look at the trailer sinking when I filled up, was hilarious. All the liquid goes in and the trailer goes... The suspension goes down. Okay, I'm on my way back.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice if there was some kind of greater good to work for. I don't know. I think it's pretty nice how they made that map though, how it has this, well, pseudo 3D almost.
Just like the detail in the terrain is just fantastic. You know, it just looks like you can't see any like obvious tiling that you often get with maps. You can see the different sectors. Like Omsi's a classic for that. You can see the sectors.
Yeah.
With this, it just feels like one fluid world. The detail on the vegetation is just amazing. There's little bits of it everywhere.
Well, and I mean, for the scale of it all, I mean, yes, they are not super big, but they are not the amount of trees and everything. And if you think about it, other games have the amount of trees, and you would be done.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that they got right with this one, definitely.
Absolutely.
But there is it's almost it's sad to see that there's so much untapped potential, though.
I'm just glad the game is under development again.
Yes. Yeah, man. Speak of being a big mess initially there. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Off I go. Hi ho, hi ho.
Okay, I'm gonna flick over to my log truck. Make sure you take the correct turn because you have to go left before that block post.
Yeah, I got waypoints set all the way. I learned my lesson. I don't trust my sense of direction in this game at all. Oh, I wanted to ask you anyway, since we had emergency games earlier or talked about that. Have you seen this new, what is it called? Build and Rescue?
Build and Rescue.
I do believe it's getting released today, early access.
Build and Rescue, but I think I know which one you mean. Yes, I think I know which one. Is that the one that's on the trailer thing that shows you an oil rig and stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you have to build your own vehicles to go rescuing or something like that. Yeah, I think I saw that.
The water physics look quite amazing from what I've seen.
Have you seen the water physics in Sea of Thieves? Oh, the water in that Sea of Thieves.
Oh, see, yes, I watched somebody. I don't know who I watched. I never watched that person before. That's why I can't remember the name. But I seen a stream and I was like, oh my.
Yeah, the water in that is just amazing.
When the big roller comes and the ship just, ship. I don't know. I'm not a sailor, but yeah, it looks amazing. Looks quite fun to play too.
It looks real fun to play with friends. Just get a crew together and go adventuring on the high seas.
Is it already released or is that?
It's in early access. Comes out in March, I think, some point.
Oh yeah.
I think if you want to play it, you have to buy into the early access, I think.
No, of course. What's your take on early access in general? I mean, you as well as I, when we started with gaming and everything, there was no such thing as early access. It would have been impossible because
I think
you would have had to.
The original premise for early access is a sound idea. It brings together the ability for the developer to get a bit of money coming in because obviously they've had to bankroll the whole thing all the way up to the point of release, which is expensive. And also they can get early feedback from the community about the direction of the game, and they can get early testing. So in principle, it's all a great idea. In practice, there's a whole load of companies that completely abuse the whole thing. Subnautica is a game that was done properly in early access. You know, they laid out what they were going to do, they took people's money, they built it, kept regularly adding content, and then they released the whole thing, and it's a great product. You know, if anybody could do early access, if everybody did early access like that, we'd all be very happy.
Yeah.
But then there's a whole lot of people that totally abuse the system. You know, they don't deliver the game. It's in early access for like 4 or 5 years.
And then it's abandoned. Worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario, it's abandoned, or, you know, and your money's never given back. Hang on, I'm not making that mistake again. I'm going backwards. But I don't think we should let the bad apples tarnish the good ones, you know? Because that's just life in general, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I like early access as long as there's like a reasonable plan behind it that says, you know, we're in early access, we're looking to, you know, release by, you know, April 2019 or whatever it is they've got. This is what you buy in. Like, because you don't, at the end of the day, it's your money. You don't have to buy an early access game. You can just completely wait to release. Like, that's your...
Oh, absolutely.
That's your option. So if you do buy into it, then... And then you start giving the developer feedback, and then you get shut down by people saying, well, it's early access, you know. As if it's like a carte blanche rite of passage to say, well, if it's early access, we can do what we like, you know, and you can't criticize it, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that's not how. But I feel too on that one, and that's something where I feel strongly about. It's funny that you said that. It goes both ways, though. If you give criticism, constructive criticism is appreciated, but just bashing a game for the sake of being negative, I don't know, that doesn't have to be either. It kind of goes both ways, right? It's a give and take, all between the developer and you as essentially the beta tester at that point, or alpha, or whatever the case may be.
I was looking... What was I looking at this afternoon? I was looking at a game on Steam. It wasn't Wildlands. It was something... I can't remember the name of it now. And I read a comment, quite a chunky comment from a guy who has 1,200 hours in the game, and he was giving it a downvote. And this was on the back of a mostly positive review. So here was a guy with 1,200 hours in a game and was giving it a downvote. And he basically said, let me say this straight. He said, I love the game. And this was an early access game. He said, I love this game. I've got 1,200 hours in it. He said, but the developers, when you suggest anything, they shut you down and they don't want to listen. And the community is super toxic and will jump on you to say, it's an early access game. You can't, they can do what they like, basically. And he said, for that reason, I'm done. Like, I'm out. And that's why I'm giving you a negative review. You need to understand that you're getting a game which you can't really give feedback to, even though it's early access, because the developer doesn't want to listen and the community is so toxic that they won't let you. Which I thought was very interesting. Okay, I've just learnt an important lesson. If you bring 7 points worth of stuff to a lumber mill that only needs 1 point, it will take all 7.
Of course.
It will take...
Because otherwise it would just be too easy.
Because now we have a problem. Because you're only bringing 7, which means we need 1 more lumber point to finish. Wow. I'm actually disappointed by that. Because I would have detached my trailer and saved us a few points if I'd have known that. So, although you're saying, you know, what you just said there, bear in mind that it sometimes the developers and the publishers don't want to listen to feedback, even though it's early access.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. It's really a give and take. Both sides have to be reasonable, I think.
And I'm fairly sure that guy was giving positive feedback as well, like constructive feedback.
Oh, I know there are companies. I mean, I had companies too. I had companies send me. I'm not saying in the game, obviously, but they send me. The famous press copy, and just give us honest feedback. And I gave honest feedback, and they did not like that honest feedback too much. And I thought it was very respectful, in my opinion, but they didn't agree.
Yeah. Honest feedback.
It's a slippery slope.
We like any kind of feedback as long as we agree with it.
Yep. Exactly. As long as it's honestly good, how great the product is. Yeah, no, it's not how it works. I'll be honest. There were times that I got invited to have a press code where I said flat out, I said, "Okay, I watched this, and honestly, I take a pass on this one. I'm not because I don't know how to make this look any way, shape, or form presentable."
Yep. I say people don't. The thing is, people don't see what you don't do. They only see what you do. So so people don't see the decisions that you're making to say no to games, to say no to offers, whatever they are. Because obviously you get offers of people send you keys, people will send you like sponsorship deals, people will send you all kinds of stuff, and I say no to like 90% of the stuff because it isn't right for the channel, isn't right for me, isn't right for my community. Whatever it is. But people don't see that. They don't see the things that you don't do. They only see the things that you do. And so it is with games. Like you say, people send you your keys and you just go, no, I can't. I either can't make that work, I don't enjoy it, or I actually think it's rubbish.
Yeah, exactly. But in that regards, I have to say, it's really refreshing to talk to somebody I mean, our channels are very much alike. Besides the fact that you are 6 times the size, but I think our like in general, what we do is very much alike, and it's very refreshing to talk to somebody who actually lives that every day too, where you have actually these decisions to make. Now, obviously, you make them on a much bigger scale, but it's in the end, it's the same. I had that too, where people approach me. Oh well, especially when I was active still with GTA a little bit, there were a lot of times where people approach you. Hey, I give you $400 if you make this video, and you just have to push this app or this product of mine. And you look at the app and they're like, it's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Wow, but you get 600. How much money do I have to pay you to make that video? I said, no, that's not. Take your money and go somebody else.
Yeah.
Go to somebody else, not to me. I'm no interest whatsoever.
But there are many people who do take the money.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Well, he showed me too. He's like, "Oh yeah, here you don't even have to make the video. I just I give you the video and you just have to make a voiceover." I said,
"Yeah, no. Right. No thanks."
No. Nobody. No. And then he's, "Well, here this video is an example," and I click on the link, and I just get from YouTube, this video was taken down, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh yeah, right on.
Yeah,
that makes me feel really good about your product. But like, I don't think so.
There's more than one person trying to make a quick buck out of that.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been contacted like that from people wanting me to make videos selling their app or product or whatever, and they send you example video links, and you click on them, and you know now that this was a sponsored video, right? Yeah. But when you go to the video, there's no declaration of sponsorship in the title. There's no mention of sponsorship from the person saying it, and in the video description, somewhere down the bottom, there might be something like, "Thanks to blah 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 for providing this product." And you're like, this is breaking, FCC laws about advertising right here. You're not declaring it, and the guy who's trying to get me to do this as well is breaking the law by not pushing those creators to do it. It's just I don't want to work with people like that.
No, I'm with you on that one. You gotta be kidding me. I did not really do that just now. Oh yeah, of course I did. Okay, turn around. Bring the logs to the mill that actually needs it. Yeah, I know. It's
yeah, you need to go to the far lumber mill. I've already done one.
It's almost brazen of those people how they really. Well, they are. They don't take no for an answer either, though. Initially, like I had some people approaching me over and over and over. And I'm like, dude, get a hint. Go away. I have no interest of aligning with your business or your product.
They can't understand when they come up against people with principles and, you know, a certain amount of morality, because they don't have any. So they can't understand why you don't want to do this.
Yeah. Oh, well, you can get, then you know, and the amount of money that they throw pretty much in your face, it makes you wonder how much they make out of this because, well, it's a business, so they have to make profit. And if they can throw essentially hundreds of dollars just, well, make this video. No, I don't want to. Well, get a $500 bonus here. I said, no, I don't want to. That makes you wonder how much money those people make.
Yep. They must be able to get a return on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's almost a little bit scary if you think about it. But as you pointed out, there's channels that just take it and run with it.
It just said the NorthernAlex has unlocked the B66 for me.
Uh-huh.
Did you unlock the garage or something?
No,
or
I
you
just
drove
unlocked
past
the
it?
vehicle when I drove past it.
Right.
You're welcome.
If you drop those 7 points off, we're going to need to get 1 point. I've got the truck minus the trailer now to go and get
Well, honestly, I would drop the trailer if I were you.
the few points. No, I already did. I'm just going and getting the few points that we need to finish the lumber mill. So when you've dropped them off, if you wanted to, you could try moving garage points or...
Mm-hmm.
or
Oh, I will totally do that.
I don't think I'll need fuel, but if I can make it back to the fuel truck, I should be okay.
I had somebody saying on one of the first videos that we published, I don't even know when you guys gonna see this because... Yeah, it's the fourth part?
Yeah, it looks like we can probably finish it in 5.
Yeah. But I had somebody say, oh, you guys should make a podcast. It's so entertaining to listen to you.
I've never done a podcast.
Me either. That would have been a first.
I've also seen like there's people like H3 who do podcasts, but they tend to do them with a video now, so it's like a vidcast, I guess you would call it. It's structured like a podcast, except there's cameras there, let me put it that way. Yeah, without the trailer, this thing is burning what, 15, 16 litres.
So it really doesn't matter if you drag the trailer around or not. It doesn't make that much difference. Well, I guess 10 liters. 10 liters or 10 liters.
When you turn off the all-wheel drive, it saves an awful lot of fuel.
Yeah, definitely. Ta-ta!
Okay, I've arrived at the kiosk.
Are you kidding me?
Right, let's get these logs.
It's too funny when you drive past those old, well, I guess they are farms, maybe? Buildings anyway. Makes you wonder what they are doing out here.
Yeah. Oh my god, I managed to get one log on each grab.
Oh my. I have 23 liters left. I'm 20 meters away and I'm burning 15 liters per minute. This is gonna come down to the wire.
You can do it, I have faith.
Yes. Delivering now.
One more log in position. NorthernAlex has delivered 7 load. I guess you made it.
Yeehaw. I did so. Now, let me think here. What am I gonna do? So the K700 is here.
One more log, are you kidding?
The utility trailer is here.
There we go. It's just bugging out a little bit.
The log?
Yeah. I had the logs in the back, but it was it wasn't. It was refusing to see them as logs. It was going, oh, you need one more log, and there was like 5, 6 logs in the back. Just had to knock them around.
Sometimes I noticed well, I don't. You probably know that, but when the points on those logs are not green, they won't register.
Yeah, that was the problem, but they were in the back. I just had to keep shuffling stuff until they went green.
Until it, yeah.
Okay. Now to find out if I've got enough fuel to get back. How are you getting on?
Oh, I just grabbed the K700 so I can do another fuel run to my E-Class. Because it has 4 garage points attached to it still, so we'll see how that all works out.
Well, this thing...
So far, so good.
This thing moves... Okay, I'll take that back. I was about to say this thing moves a lot better without a trailer, and then immediately got stuck on a rock. Oh, come on.
I don't know if you ever tried to finish the map The Flood, but boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's one of the old maps.
Yeah, I remember the flood. Awful lot of water. You got to pick your routes very carefully.
Yup.
Running out of daylight. Even when you turn the lights on this thing, you get this like clunk clunk, and then this kind of yellowy light comes out. It's just so authentic.
Yeah, the relays engaging and...
Yeah, exactly. Just little details like that.
Yeah. You know what? As silly as that sounds, but that was one of the things that I noticed the first time I played OMSI is the fact that the halogen lights, the bulbs or the filament bulbs actually have this little bit of afterglow as soon as they go off. They don't digitally go 1 and 0. They actually have a little bit of a fade to them, and
Yeah,
I
so
thought that was very refreshing.
as it cools down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like stuff like that.
Yeah. But those little details, some people just it's completely lost on them. I remember when I reviewed, what was it? Banished.
Oh yeah, I've not
made-
played that for ages.
I made a comment about how satisfying those buttons sound when you click them. And people were like, I never realized that, but after you mentioning that, yeah, they do.
Well, for me, it was always the window on an OMSI bus. The squeaky window.
Yes.
I always had a thing for the squeaky window. The first thing I do when I get in a new bus in OMSI is test the window.
Yeah, if you have the brand new buses, all you hear is bzzz.
Yeah, it's just not the same. The old
No.
ones that had the window, like the glass was against them, like kind of bristly bits, and you get this kind of shh kind of noise as you drag the window.
I know.
And then you slam it shut and you get thunk. Love that.
Yes. Okay, so I'm at the fuel station. I'm gonna go through the block post and gonna go to the other garage. Gonna grab a trailer, come back, fuel up, fuel the E up, and deliver the points, hopefully. Maybe.
What points?
The garage points.
Right, cool.
That's the plan.
Well, plans were never very good in practice.
No.
I'm crossing the water bit at the moment.
Well, in the army we have the saying that the best laid out plans don't survive the first contact with your enemy.
That was Sun Tzu, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Sun Tzu's Art of War. So there was something like all the plans that you make will be completely invalidated within the first, few minutes of combat. But it's very important that you make the plans.
Almost definitely. Always have a plan B though. That's what I learned.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this thing is actually moving nicely now, even without all-wheel. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I said that, and look what happened to me. Stuck in a rock.
Block post is open. Trucks with no lumber allowed to pass. Yay. Oh, speaking of block post is open, have you seen this the trailer for this Border Patrol game?
Border Patrol.
Yes, you are... Oh no, you gotta be kidding me.
See? You said I'm making good progress, and that the next thing that happens?
Yeah. Bogged down. Now I got her free again, but basically you are a border patrol officer in a
I've seen
clearly
this. Yeah.
Russian, or sorry, shouldn't say Russian, but Eastern Europe country. Looks like it anyway. And yeah, you just control the truck and extort the driver and all kinds of fun stuff. Is it just me, or is it a crazy amount of all kinds of simulators is coming out lately? Good
Yeah.
ones as well as, well,
I think, I don't know, that some of the developers think it's just an easy, quick win. So they make these kind of, averagey simulator games. But then I noticed they've also, a lot of them don't put the word simulator in there now. Like, for example, Demolish and Build. They don't put the word sim in there. They just put Demolish and Build 2018.
Or because if they would have put simulator somewhere, you could have called them out on it. But
Yep. Tell you what, without that trailer, I'm making a lot better progress.
Oh, I believe it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, and it's funny because the longer you look at this whole industry, quote unquote, the more you can kind of tell by, depending on who's publishing and whatnot, you kind of can tell that yeah, it's gonna be really good or it's gonna be meh.
Yeah. You were saying before about early access games and what I thought about them. Mm-hmm. I would have the same question for you over kickstarting games.
As being one that got suckered into quite a few. Just games or Kickstarter in general?
Just games, not kickstarting, products, just kickstarting games. Because kickstarting, if you like, is an alternative to early access.
Yeah.
So which do you prefer and why?
Well, which do I prefer? I think by now early access. Just because, well, Kickstarter, I've seen it now a few times where there were successful funded games that were absolutely grossly overfunded, where you're like, what are you guys doing? Like 2, 4, 5, 600% overfunded sometimes. And it never comes to pass. And especially if you have a significant amount of money invested, I mean, it's your own fault, obviously, but it kind of hurts more with early access, at least. It's not as much money, but I also find that with early access you have a more direct way to contact the developers, partially.
Yeah, I mean, in the same way I've seen people abuse Kickstarter. In the same way they abuse early access.
I mean, there will always be abuse. I don't know, I just, out of experience, early access was a less negative experience than what I have with Kickstarter games. The thing that I like about Kickstarter is most of the times you have really indie studios that have no affiliation with any kind of publisher, and they're kind of, in terms of that, they can be more of a free spirit, if you will.
I think, I mean, yeah, when a publisher gets involved, the developers' arms get tied quite a bit sometimes.
Yeah. So I guess it has pros and cons, definitely. Which one do you prefer?
Which one do I prefer? I'm trying to, I mean, I think of the early access games that I've backed, the Kickstarter ones, sorry, I think most of them have come to fruition. But from the early access stuff that I've backed on Steam, or rather bought into the early access, there's still a number that have, I mean, like The Forest, for example, has been going on for nearly 5 years, although I think they're releasing this year.
Yeah.
But largely the Kickstarter of ones have delivered. I just don't like it when I see abuse of the system. When I see certain publishers, and I won't name names, but the well-known ones, and they put a product on Kickstarter that they already have the money to develop. They've got the money, they've got the development team, they've built previous games, but they are kickstarting a game. It's not really kickstarting at all. It's a way of getting money for something they've not yet finished building, but they say in the statement, this game is under development and is going to be finished this year.
Yeah.
Well, why are you kickstarting it then? You know, why are you kickstarting this game? I consider that to be abuse of the reason that Kickstarter was invented, if you like.
I was about to say, it kind of goes against the whole idea of why there's Kickstarter.
Yeah. To connect people who've got an idea and want to build something with people who are prepared to take the gamble and give them the money to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here you have a publisher who already has the money to do it, is already active developing it, and they just want to get free sales before they release. Don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, largely Kickstarter's done, you know, I think it's done. I've had a good experience with it. I like backing games early, you know, I like it when they deliver.
Yeah.
It's good to see a success story, but it doesn't always happen.
Well, I mean, it's, you know, in a way, it's almost, sometimes it's a gamble, and sometimes it's almost, in a way, in a very small way, obviously, but almost like the stock market. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's just, you kind of have to hedge your bet. And you know what, honestly, sometimes you can tell by the presentation of the idea and the product whether or not there's any kind of merit to it.
True. And if you're not sure, you can always wait.
Mm-hmm.
And see how it turns out. But I mean, my Steam library's got games in it that, you know, I've bought in early access or backed on Kickstarter, and have I got my money's worth out of it? Nope.
No, and that's just a gamble that you take sometimes. I mean, I have that too.
Okay, I have the truck at the lumber mill.
Yeah, as soon as you deliver, this is over.
Exactly, so... let's see where you are on the... What have you got in the back of that thing?
Fuel. Well, I'm gonna have fuel in it once I'm on my way back.
So I could unload one garage point into there. Like that.
Yep.
There's one. We need another 7. Depends if you're bothered about finishing the garage.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing this whole exercise here of bringing the K700 with another fuel trailer down to the fuel point, because my E with the 4 garage points is sitting without fuel. In fact, I am just coming past it here now.
So even this truck here only carries 3.
I love the sound of the turbo when it spools up, especially on the K700. Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself watching a lot of different YouTubers, especially gaming, or is it, well, you're living it daily, it's kind of getting to the point where you just don't want to see anything anymore? But especially when it comes to new releases, or, well, I guess a lot of the stuff we get early anyway, so we don't really have the chance to watch other YouTubers, but yeah, in general, do you watch them, or?
I personally don't tend to watch much gaming YouTube channels. I tend to watch streams, if anything, like gaming streams.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what, I don't know, I can't really explain that, but I like hanging out in streams and watching other streamers play games.
Mm-hmm.
But on YouTube, I tend to watch more documentary stuff. Like, the last few days I've been watching various TV series about flying, like Above the Skies of Britain, and one about the RAF, that was a 4-part thing, like proper BBC production, which somebody kindly uploaded to YouTube. So I tend to watch that kind of stuff on YouTube, but I tend to consume my gaming via streams. And I think that's just, I can't explain why that is, because I really can't explain. I don't know. It's just, maybe it's habitual, just the way just the way I do things. But I do watch YouTube gaming. Like you say, if a new plane has come out on DCS, I'll go and watch a couple of videos on it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
With people that actually know what they're doing 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you see that, but for me, streaming, because everybody's always like, well, what do you like better, streaming or videos?
I personally like both.
Yeah, it's very different from each other. It like, especially videos alone, I find sometimes if you don't have necessarily a lot to say, then it gets very challenging to make a 20-minute video without all of a sudden falling silent.
I think that's the problem. When people, it's like anything, when you see something done well, it looks easy. So if you watch a YouTuber who does it really well, he will make it look easy, and the temptation then is to think that it's not difficult at all and I could do it, and you're just playing games and you should go and get a real job and all that kind of thing that comes with it.
Yeah.
We've all experienced that one. But at the same time, when people do try it for themselves, they find out that it really isn't that easy. And like you say, you can easily run out of stuff to talk about. And that's just one aspect to it. Never mind the production quality of the whole thing, and making it entertaining, and deciding what games to play next and what content to make. Even when you're recording, you've then got to decide what you're going to talk about. On Twitch, or streaming, any streaming platform, not just Twitch, it's different because you can interact. You're basically interacting with your audience, and that makes life a bit easier in that sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it's still interesting that I've seen streamers who hardly interact with their viewers, and I've seen streamers who hardly say anything, which I find that whole concept interesting, because the whole purpose of the platform is to interact with your audience.
I know. You know what? This is for me one of the main points for me of streaming is the interaction with the community. That's what it's all about, really. It's interesting. But yeah, I've seen that too. Completely. Some games it's hard to, and I understand that it's hard to keep up with the chat and whatnot, because you have to pay very close attention to what's happening in the game. But
yeah,
there are certain games that are perfect for streams.
If you're those people who like to do racing, for example, it's very hard to read chat and race.
Oh yeah. Especially if you suck at racing to begin with. But that's a whole different story. Speaking of whole different story, my timer tells me 49 minutes.
Yeah, I think I am... Where am I? I am just around the corner from delivering some garage points.
I'm on my way back with the fuel right now too, so in theory I think we can do it in 10, 15. So I don't know.
I think I've got 4 points here. I've delivered once. That's 5. We need 3 more.
Yeah, I have 4 on the trailer that I'm about to fuel up.
Okay, so you drop that off. We unload the logs and map done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can always cut it down if you want.
Yeah, this doesn't really matter to me. We could even cut, if this one is an hour long, we could even cut it in between. Make a transition like that if you wanted to or whatever. I mean,
Yeah, I'm very close to the garage now. And the sun is coming up.
yes. So nice.
Okay. I'm at the garage now. The container full of stuff. Unloaded.
Aha, another 4, wonderful. Yeah, I'm just making my way up here. The beaten path, literally the beaten path, because by now it's so beaten up that it's getting kind of difficult to get through.
I can believe it.
Oh, isn't it fun? But yeah, I think if I learned one thing with YouTubing as well as with streaming is, for the most part anyway, I mean, of course there is sometimes yeah, you have different experiences for different people, no doubt about that, but oh, what now? It's more of a marathon and not really a sprint.
No. I said to you a long time ago, you need to be in it for the long game.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You said that on our initial email. You told me that for the first time. And you told me that a few times since.
And it's as true now as it ever was.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, most definitely. I mean, but it's just something that I feel people really don't talk about for whatever reason. Is yeah, that it is not a sprint, and what looks easy when you see the video, there's a lot of work behind it, and people tend to forget that.
How far are you away from dropping the garage points off?
I'm about 2 minutes from, let's say 3 minutes from fueling up the E-Class, and the E-Class is about 2 minutes from the garage, so let's say 5 minutes.
Okay.
I say that very confidently in the hopes that I don't get stuck anymore. It's too, I find, with, well, especially with Twitch, I guess, you know, auto hosts are a really nice thing. They are great and everything. And give you sometimes, depending on who hosts you, a nice little boost. Like, now, I don't know, it's easier for me to talk about it now that the Twitch partnership program is completely transparent, not like it was when I looked in it for the first time, and when you initially became a partner, it was this ominous thing of, well, nobody really knows what the requirements are. We have all a rough idea, but...
Well, when did it become transparent?
Oh, they have now, it's... you have to have... when they introduced achievements, And the affiliation program, that's why I told you the other day I'm at 88%, well 89% now. It's kind of almost Steam achievements. You have to have so many hours per month, you have to have so many individual streams, and you have to have, that's what I'm working right now on, is you have to have an average of 75 viewers over 30 days. It sounds like that's not much, but oh my goodness, man, it is.
Well, when I applied, I was getting 300 to 400 viewers per stream and being turned down for partnership.
Well, I guess they changed.
Oh, that's changed a lot. You know.
And you can see it now. You get your stream summary, and it shows on there. It shows you are so many percent there. That's what I was saying. I'm 88% now there, but the 75 on average is it's a thing. I'm certain that I get there, but
yeah,
it's gonna be a moment yet. Okay, I got my Class E fueled up, and I'm rolling. Well, I would be rolling if I wasn't spinning. There we go.
You're on your way to the garage now, then?
Yeah.
So those block posts in this game completely changed the map, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
In the early days of Spintires, they never existed. Ever since they brought them in, like wherever they put a block post, it can completely change the nature of the map.
Oh yeah. They can, you think, oh, it's just a 2-minute drive up until you come up to the block post, and yeah, no. Left or right, buddy. It's a nice addition. Oh, look at that. Rolling up to the garage here with my last points.
Yep, I see you.
The monster truck.
Yeah, it's monster truck, that one.
And done.
Boom. And I just got repaired. Instantly got repaired when you did that. Right, do you want me to unload these points into here then?
No, might as well.
I think that's gonna end it.
That's gonna end it.
That's all. Game finished, 5 hours and 18 minutes.
Wow, look at this. Many thanks too.
Many thanks to Squirrel the NorthernAlex.
Oh, it's funny. Completed with Game Balance Hardcore. There you go. And we traveled I traveled 16.4 kilometers. Or is it a total?
I did 23.3, so...
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, I had 16.4 kilometers in 4 hours, 52 minutes.
Fantastic.
Fuel consumed 3,900 liters.
How many? I only did 27.
39.48.
Wow, that's a lot of fuel.
5. Yeah.
Almost 4 tons of fuel.
Oh my goodness.
Well, GG, sir. We're just coming up under the hour, so that's perfect.
Yeah, perfect. It
All
was
right.
fun.
Well, I guess we can just ask people to drop the comments in chat, what they thought about the whole thing, our playthrough, and if there's any particular maps or vehicles I think we should look at.
Exactly. Yeah, looking forward to the next time.
Yep. GG, sir.
Mm-hmm.